Well, in August of 2014, we were working on the border with China and North Korea in a city called Dandong. We were running a coffee shop, we were doing aid work in the North Korea, we were helping an orphanage, we were doing things like that. Then we were invited to a dinner to help someone who wanted to go to Canada to study. We went to that dinner. Afterwards, we were leaving the dinner, and we came into the lobby of the restaurant on our way out, and there was a bunch of people there, probably a couple dozen people there, and essentially we were abducted. We were taken, and we had no idea any of this was happening. And then for the next 775 days, we were detained by the Chinese government.
The first 6 months was in a remote compound, so I think there's a lot of things that run through your mind because you really have no idea day to day what's going to happen. You have 6 hours a day of interrogation, up to 6 hours, but beginning 7 days a week, and you're held in one room, lights on 24/7. And really what you're trying to do is piece together even why you're there, what's going on, from sights and sounds and little phrases that you hear, wisps of conversation. But really you absolutely don't know, and all of a sudden you feel like you really have not any experience in this kind of situation and what to do. So you do the thing you can do, you pray, and you work on negotiating relationship-wise with the people that you're held by. And then after that, I was transferred after 6 months into my apartment, but then it ran out of rent and I had to move again to another place. Somebody lent me a place. And so then for the rest of the period of time, it was still interrogation on a weekly basis and expecting that my trial would come. And eventually my trial was dropped just right before Kevin's trial.
For me in prison, there's absolutely no privacy. With 14 people in the same cell and cameras and guards passing back and forth all the time, absolutely no privacy. You spend your day, you do laundry when you can, but there's no washing machine, it's all by hand. You kind of look forward to the next meal, if that meal comes, because there's not food every day, because you have to purchase everything in prison, so you have to have money, so money has to come from the outside, put on your card, your account, and probably about, and I figured this out because I had lots of time to figure things out, 28.4% of the time there was no food to buy during that time. So basically every third meal wasn't there. Well, the trial was in April 2016, yeah. And then our lawyer said to me, well, we should hear something in 3 to 4 weeks. But then almost 5 months went by. And then September 13th, 2016, I get called out of my cell unexpectedly. They said, you're going to court, sentenced me to 8 years in prison. But what the difference was, my trial was closed, but the verdict hearing, there was 2 people from the Canadian Embassy, and my main interrogator was there also, which is unusual. And they said afterwards, I was able to talk to the embassy people. They just said, what we've heard is the word deportation.
I got a phone call from Prime Minister Trudeau in the middle of the night, right when he moved out of Chinese airspace into regular international air, I guess. And when he called me, then I knew he was on the plane. I knew he'd arrive at 9 in the morning. So then there was this huge relief. He's on the plane. I'm going to see him tomorrow. All our family reunion, our giant hug's going to happen that we have been longing for a long time. And that's exactly what happened. Days. And they facilitated that in our American lawyer consultant, and the member of the staff from the Canadian Embassy flew all the way back with Kevin, and we really, really appreciated that.
That was very kind.
And then they just immediately went back, and we had a private room in the airport where we had a really great reunion with a few other friends.
Yeah.